Positivity keeps on scoring. Good vibes, great kiss, and stories to share. Overt Morning Show. Rising with you everywhere. You come my way.
All right, Lagos, good morning, Nigeria, good morning, Africa, good morning to the rest of the world. Today is Tuesday, the 25th day of August 2026. This is Overt Radio. My name is Ken, and this is the breakfast show here on Overt Radio. We are kicking off today's broadcasting with reviewing some of the stories making headlines here on the national newspaper via the online version. And so what I'll be doing this morning between the hours of 8 and 10 a.m. is to review some of the headlines, making waves in Nigeria, and also talk about some of the things that is going on in Nigeria political corridor, because the 2027 general election is very much around the corner. All right, so let's get things started. So you can participate this program. You can participate on this program by going to our various social media platforms on X. You can leave a message on X, or you can go to any of our content on X and leave a comments section, or go to where we are currently streaming. We are streaming on our YouTube platform, Overt Radio Live, and leave a comment there, and as soon as I get that comment, or I am notified of that comment, I will read out those comments to you. Or you can send us a WhatsApp. That is 0703386872, or go to our Instagram, that is Overt News, or go to TikTok, over.radio.lagos. Okay, all right, now let's get things started. But before I kick off, this morning by 9 o'clock, remember we had a scheduled interview. That's about 2 weeks ago, but that interview was unable to hold. But this morning, by 9 o'clock, hopefully by 9 o'clock, we'll be I'll be joining one of the political candidate in Imo State. His name is Honorable Oke Okafo Ihediche. He is the African Democratic Congress, that is the National Nigeria Democratic Congress candidate for 2027, Federal House of Representatives for Olu East, also Federal constituency in Imo State. So he will be joining us via phone call this morning by 9 o'clock. So if you want to know everything about this particular person, this individual, what he has in store for his constituency in Imo State, please stay tuned to 9 o'clock, where that interview will be aired live here in the studio. All right, yes, the breakfast show is being sponsored by Liveback Pharmacy and Stores Limited, marketers of Ogama soft gel, and as well as Swedish bitters. It is Ogama soft gel is an anti-malaria medicine. All right, during the course of the program, I'll be giving you more details concerning our sponsor later on in the program. Okay, it is 4 minutes gone past the hour of 8 o'clock. So I have with me here the Sun newspaper, and also Punch and the Vanguard newspaper. That is where I will be taking some of the stories from this morning here in the that is breakfast show here in the studio. All right, let's get straight to the business of the day. On the Sun newspaper this morning, Tinubu has outperformed every elected president. Tinubu has outperformed every elected president. This is coming from the National Publicity Secretary of the All Progressive Congress, Felix Moka, has declared that President Bola Tinubu has outperformed every democratically elected president in Nigeria. during his first term. Moka made the claim on Monday during an interview with Channels Television, arguing that Tinubu inherited an economy that was completely in a mess before assuming office in 2023. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has outperformed any president in his first term. He has outperformed any democratically elected president in this country in their terms, Moka said. Asked about the indicators supporting the claim, the APC chairperson said the performance of the administration was evident in the available economic indicators. Okay, the indicators are res pisau liquitor, as we say in law. They speak for themselves. Okay, the president inherited an economy that was completely in a mess, he said. Moka blamed successive administrations for the condition of the economy before Tinubu took office, while describing former President Muhammadu Buhari's administration as a transition from the 16-year rule of the People's Democratic Party. Buhari was a stopgap president that really came to help to keep the country from tipping over the precipice from 16 years of horrific maladministration of the PDP government, he said. President Buhari served his term, did his job to hold the country still for President Tinubu to enter. Moka further claimed that Tinubu's policies had transformed the economy to the extent that some of the administration's critics were now acknowledging its progress. He said Nigeria had come out of the woods at the macroeconomic level under Tinubu, although he did not provide specific indicators or comparisons with previous democratically elected presidents to substantiate his claim. All right. Well, he is the National Publicity Secretary of the All Progressive Congress. So he has the right to say everything that he has to say. He can even say that president that will be elected in the future. Okay, Tinubu has performed those presidents that will be elected, after the president leaves either next year or 2021. So Felix Moka has the right to say what he wants to say. Like I said earlier, he can say that the president that Tinubu, has outperformed, future presidents that will be elected. All right, yes, he can say that. He has the right to say that. He has the right to say that President Tinubu, if Tinubu, outperformed the likes of Olusegun Obasanjo, who came into power, to set key policies in place, it was Obasanjo that brought the GSM that we are using now. It was Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, that brought about the EFCC, that is being in place now. It is the likes of Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, that provided this treasury, the single salary account, that's the TSC. It was the likes of Obasanjo that made sure that this country made sure, because when Obasanjo came on board, now because when these people when these politicians start making noise, on radio and television, on the pages of newspaper, they are blinded by what has happened. They don't see the good things that past administration has done. It was the effort of President Bola, it was the effort of Chief Olusegun Obasanjo when he first came into power, through the assistance of the Minister of Finance then, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, when Nigeria was highly indebted. I remember vividly, it was during Obasanjo's administration that most of our debts were written off by the Paris Club. All right, can the president, can this current administration, approach the World Bank or the IMF to beg that our debt be forgiven? All the debts all the loans that the APC administration themselves, all the loans that the APC administration themselves, loans that future generations of this country will pay for the next 150 years. Okay, since the APC, since Felix Moka, who is the National Publicity Secretary of the All Progressive Congress, says that President Tinubu has outperformed, presidents, democratically elected presidents in their first term. Has he forgotten what Obasanjo did? Has he forgotten how many institutions that Obasanjo brought about? Has Felix Moka forgotten the Paris debt that was written off during his administration in between 1999 and 2003? Has he forgotten all the things that President Chief Olusegun Obasanjo did while he was in power? So when people like Felix Moka, when they appear on television, theirs is just to sugarcoat everything. This is what he does. Every publicity secretary of any political party, this is what they do. They don't see the good things that past administration has done. So they have demonized the administration of evil. He has even demonized the administration of the former president of the country, Muhammadu Buhari. Yes, he gave him some credit, but he didn't see anything palatable that Buhari did. All right. During the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari, who promised that the Chibok girls will be returned, was he able to do that for 8 years? For 8 solid years of Muhammadu Buhari's administration? Okay, who promised to fight insecurity? Who promised to fight corruption in the country? Was he able to do that? All right. So it is like I said, that the APC National Publicity Secretary has the right to say what he wants to say, because these are the APC Tinubu is his paymaster. All right. He who pays, who pays. There's a way he who pays the tune, or determine the tune, or whatever they call it. So Felix Moka has the right to say what he wants to say, but the performance of presidents in this country, will go down to history. Whether the PDP did a maladministration like what the report said, it is on record what Chief Olusegun Obasanjo was able to accomplish within 8 years of his administration. All the good things that we're enjoying today, okay, all the good things that we're enjoying today, these are the things that were set up, that were put in place by the former president Olusegun Obasanjo. All right, so it is wrong of him, okay, it is unethical, it is wrong of Felix Moka to say that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu outperformed every elected president in the country. It is wrong. I stand to say this here. It is wrong. It is very, very wrong, because Tinubu has not finished his administration yet. His first term hasn't ended. His first term is ended next year. His second term, if he's elected again for the second time, until this man finishes his administration, before you can say that he has outperformed every, you cannot still you can't still remain in school. You cannot still remain in school and say that you are a first class student. When you are still in school, you've not taken examination yet. You've not taken examination yet. You are still boasting that you are the best. You are the overall. It is when exam has been taken, results marked, then scores will be announced. Then you cannot say, okay, he is the overall, the best performing student in the class or in the school. All right. So don't be in a haste. Yes, we know that you have good things to talk about the president, but wait, let his tenure end. Okay, May 29, 2027, which will end the first tenure of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and if God gives him the grace, to be for a re-election, then you wait till May 29, 2031. After that, you cannot start scoring the president, but not when he's in power. You don't know what will happen tomorrow. All right. So these are just people who are paid to demonize others and also heap praises on the person that is in power. All right, let's go to the next story. This is still on the Sun newspaper. Return to fuel subsidy will reverse Nigeria's economic gain. This is coming from the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, has warned against calls to restore the petrol subsidy, saying a return to the old regime would undermine Nigeria's improving fiscal position, weaken investor confidence, and reverse gains from the economic reforms of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. Idris, in an opinion editorial titled "Restoring Fuel Subsidy Will Reverse Nigeria's Economic Gains," issued in Abuja by his special assistant on media, Rabiu Ibrahim, outlined the fiscal benefit of subsidy removal and the economic risk he said Nigeria would face if petrol subsidy were reintroduced. Restoring subsidy would almost instantly return Nigeria to the economic conditions in 2022, recreating the same physical pressures, distortions, scarcity, and incentives for arbitrage, and made the old system unsustainable. End of quote. The minister said the proponents of subsidy restoration must confront its opportunity costs, asking whether the country should restore petrol subsidy at the expense of funding student loans and consumer credit for young Nigerians, maintaining higher allocations to state and local government, or continuing investment in roads, rail, power, and security. He also questioned whether Nigeria could afford to divert resources from healthcare, education, and social protection for vulnerable citizens in order to subsidize petrol. Okay, Idris recalled that in 2022, amid declining oil production and weak revenues, Nigeria spent about $10 billion on fuel subsidy, while the World Bank warned that the subsidy was consuming resources that could otherwise have supported education, healthcare, infrastructure, and protection. Citing the federal government's recently presented Nigeria's reform scorecard, the benefits, costs, and harms prevented, Idris said the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Dr. Taiwo Oyedele, disclosed that subsidy savings had mobilized 15.8 trillion in resources for the federation between June 2023 and December 2025. He explained that approximately 5.43 trillion accrued to the federal government, 6.52 trillion to states, and 3.88 trillion to local government. All right. The reason why I laughed, when I was reading that second to the last paragraph, when the minister said when the minister cited that the federal government recently presented that Nigeria's reform scorecard, the benefit, cost, and harms, quoting, crediting the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, that the subsidy savings had reached 15.8 trillion in resources for the federation between June 2023 and December 2025. Why I was laughing is because this administration has perfected itself in quoting figures. All right, in quoting figures that cannot be traced, in quoting figures that are not reflective in the lives of the masses. Okay, what damn the 15.8 trillion that we have, that the federal government claimed, that they have that was saved as subsidy. The 15.8 trillion, fantastic. Nobody is saying that you did not save money. But what people are saying is that, because I don't know if these people understand the cry of the people, if those in government, if they understand the cry of the masses, if those in government, if they understand what people are saying, nobody is saying that you did not save money from subsidy. You are the one that presented the figure to us, and we accepted the figure. We are not doubting. Okay, but what we are saying is that this 15.8 trillion that you've been clamoring on, this 15.8 trillion, fantastic, that you've been saying that you saved between June 2023 and December 2025, where is it in the life of the people? What have you used it for? The 15.8 trillion that you say you saved, that you claim that you saved from subsidy, where is it? Okay, what have you used it for? That is what we are saying. If you have not used it, what are you going to use it for? Okay, if you have not used the 15.8 trillion, what are you going to use it for? Because money that you are still saving, if you don't use that money for something, it will be as if you don't have anything with you. Okay, what have you used the money for? What are you using it for? If you have not used it, where is it? What have you used it for? The other day, the president, the APC released lists of presidential campaign council, more than 200 names. I mean, I can't even finish calling out the names. Okay, for the 2027, general election campaign. This is for the president alone. More than 200 names, people that will be in charge in ensuring that the president should be elected, or in ensuring the re-election of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. These names, over 300 names, are like, is this not just for a re-election? This is just for re-election. This is just for the election. And you see fleet of cars for the presidential campaign, and somebody was asking, how many hospitals, how many ambulances have been donated to hospitals in the country? If you go to federal hospitals, if you go to government hospitals today, how many ambulances can they boast of? How many primary health centers have ambulances, but yet they can display campaign vehicles, fleet of cars, yet our hospitals, there is no ambulance. Even if there are ambulances, are they enough? Even if there are ambulances, are those ambulances vehicle? Is there fuel in that ambulance? The police operational vehicle, do the police have enough operational vehicles? Why is it that when there is an incident and when they reach out to the police, before the police get there, it will take them hours? Nobody is saying that you did not save money from subsidy. What we are saying that we want to see the results of these savings. We want to see the result of these savings. Nobody is saying that the economy has not improved, but we want to see it in the lives of the people. Foodstuffs are still expensive in the market. Nigerians still, like I was reading out last week, the inflation figures of how food has gone up. Because in January, I can still remember, in January, price inflation for food was at 8%. But now in in July, within 7 months, food inflation prices has gone up to like 21%. And we have some people who are privileged to be on radio and television saying that the president has outperformed all the democratically elected president that this country has ever had. That is wrong. That is wrong. That is very, very wrong. To say that Bola Ahmed Tinubu has outperformed every democratically elected president in the country. It is wrong, because the president is still in government. His tenure has not ended yet. You don't score yourself. You are not the one to score yourself. Let people score you. You are not the one to say that I have done well. It is the people that will say that you have done well. That is pride. It is the people that will tell you that, Oga, while you were president, within 4 years, you did well. Not you yourself saying that I have done well, or not your cronies. Those people who will not tell you the reality of what is going on in the country. They are not the one to tell you. Those people who are not feeling the heat of the economy. It is not the people who are not feeling the heat of the economy that will tell you that you are doing well, that you have outperformed. It is not people who don't think about how they will get money to fuel their cars. They are not the one to tell you whether you did well or not. It is the people that you are leading. It is the people that you are governing that will be able to tell you whether you are doing well or not. So all those, what the man said yesterday on television, you know, it does not hold water. It doesn't hold water. All right, it doesn't hold water at all. I am not denying the fact that the president has, to an extent, you know, taken some bold step in terms of economy. I'm not denying that. I'm not denying the fact that, yes, through some of his economic policies, the country has been able to earn more money like before. Fantastic. I'm not denying that. Kudos to the president. But what I'm saying is that, what is the essence of you know, saving everything and yet impoverishing the people, and yet the people will not feel what you are saving the money for? That is what we are saying. All right, let's go to the next story making headlines this morning. Yes, opposition party lash worry over APC will rule beyond 2031 rather. Opposition parties lash worry over APC will rule beyond 2031 vow. Opposition party, this is coming from the Vanguard newspaper. Opposition parties and some stakeholders yesterday baited the Director General of the All Progressive Congress Presidential Campaign Council, APC-PPC, Senator Abdulaziz Yari, over his comment that the ruling party would win the 2027 presidential polls and rule the country beyond 2031. Senator Yari, a former governor of Zamfara State who spoke at Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, after returning from an overseas trip, expressed confidence that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will secure re-election in 2027, adding that APC will retain the presidency beyond 2031. Another member of the council and Minister of Defense, General Christopher Gwabin Musa, retired, also expressed absolute confidence that the APC will achieve success at the polls and continue to deliver what he described as robust governance and security nationwide. Right. Yaris, okay. The boast elicited immediate knocks from opposition parties and stakeholders, including Alhaji Atiku Abubakar's African Democratic Congress ADC, Mr. Peter Obi's Nigeria Democratic Congress NDC, New Nigeria People's Party NNPP, Social Democratic Party SDP, and former presidential candidate Chief Peter Ame. All right. So, well, Yari is the newly appointed Director General of the All Progressive Congress Presidential Campaign Council. That is, he's the one in charge of the presidential campaign that has already kicked off, you know, ahead of the 2027 general election for the presidency, for the president in the APC. So him saying that that the APC will rule beyond 2021 these are just fallacy. Is something that will not hold water. That was that was how the PDP boasted that they will rule the country for 50 years, or for the next for 50 years, and after that, not quite long, the PDP were disgraced out of power. They were pushed out of power. You can never determine the trajectory where the country will go, the trajectory of the country. Okay, making such statement, making such statement is what have you put on ground? What is on ground? What foundation has the APC been able to lay since 2015, since they came into power? All right, since 2015, it is about 11 years now, 11 solid years since the APC has been in charge. 11 years. Can you imagine? 11 years since the All Progressive Congress, they came into power in 2015. Buhari ruled for 8 years, and this current president has ruled for 3 good years. 11 years the APC has been in charge in this country. What has been that notable achievement that while the APC was in power, this and this are the things that were put in place to ensure continuity in governance for the next 11 years. The example I gave earlier, when the likes of Felix Moka boasted that declared that Bola Ahmed Tinubu has outperformed every democratically elected president, I made it known that, Chief, you cannot be saying this without mentioning some of the achievement that was wrought by some of the achievement that was done by the former president, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo. The GSM of today, it was Obasanjo that brought it to the country. The EFCC of today, it was Obasanjo. The ICPC, it was Obasanjo. All the policies, the debts that were owing during the military regime when Obasanjo came in, the Paris Club debt were written off. How many of the president's cabinet today can the Minister of Finance approach the World Bank? Can the Minister of Finance approach the IMF and plead that the debt, the loans that have been taken by this APC administration should be written off? If that can be possible, yes, maybe you've made an achievement. After the loans, I won't be surprised that the president will write to the Senate again for more loans. So, before we start making comments about governance, about a particular administration, let us think before we do that. And Yari, is a politician, so he has the right to say whatever he wants to say. But let us keep our fingers crossed. After 2027, all right, I am not saying that the president should not be voted, should not be re-elected. I am not saying that Nigerians should not vote for who they want to vote for. But what I'm saying is that wait, don't be in a haste. You can never see politicians in America. You can never see politicians in the United Kingdom make this declaration or boast like this. Imagine Donald Trump saying that the Republican will be in power for the next 50 years in the United States of America. He didn't say that because things change. Because in that place they have systems that work. It is because in this part of the world, the systems, the fantastic systems that have been put in place don't work. So that is why somebody can wake up one morning with pot belly and start saying that a particular political party will be in charge for beyond 2031. It's because the things that are in place they are not working. People's vote hardly counts. Manipulative elections. You can only say that when the system is corrupt, when the system is predictable. effective. When systems are put in place, those systems ought not to be predictable. What I mean by predictable, that it should not be manipulated. Of course, systems are put in place to work effectively, but systems that are put in place should not be manipulated to favor some certain kind of people into society. That is what I'm saying when I say that systems should not be predictable. Of course, they are put in place to work effectively to favor every persons in all the strata in the society. But systems that are put in place to be manipulative, then it can be predicted. It can be predicted. It is 36 minutes gone past the hour of 8 o'clock. Remember, I said by 9 o'clock we have, during our political update segment, we have a very, very important guest that will be joining us here for an exclusive interview. All right, let's go to another story making headline this morning. The Punch newspaper. Pack your bags, Melaye tells Tinubu ahead of 2027 polls. A chieftain of the African Democratic Congress, Dino Melaye, has urged President Bola Tinubu and members of his family to start packing their belongings from the presidential villa. He declared that the ADC will defeat the ruling All Progressive Congress in 2027 general elections. Melaye said the outcome of the election would reflect Nigerians' growing dissatisfaction with the Tinubu administration, which he accused of failing to address hunger, insecurity, and other challenges confronting the country. The former senator and lawyer spoke in an interview with Arise TV on Monday. He expressed confidence in the ADC's chances, saying the party's winning strategy was straightforward because Nigerians were ready for a change of government. The winning strategy for the ADC is very simple. The people are with us. The people are tired of maladministration. They are tired of lies. They are tired of borrowing. They are tired of three budgets in 3 successions not being implemented, Melaye said. He alleged that despite the government borrowing money to fund its budgets, several contracts awarded by the government remained unpaid. For example, you say you borrowed money to run the budget. You have borrowed the money. You have collected the money, but the budget has not been run. Okay, the budget has not been funded. Contract awarded in 2024 have not been paid for. You are still implementing the 2024 budget in 2026. Melaye said the hardship, insecurity, killings, and alleged corruption in the country had created a disconnect between Nigerians and the government. He maintained that Nigerians were watching the developments in the country and would express their dissatisfaction through the ballot. He quotes, "So I am telling you that this enchantment, the hunger in the land, the insecurity in the land, the killings in the land, the stealing, overstealing that is going on in the land already have shown and demonstrated that there is a complete disconnect between the people and the government. But under the administration, people are afraid of Tinubu. Under the Tinubu administration, people are afraid of government because they are so brazen, they are so wicked, they are so nonchalant, they don't give a damn." Another quote again by Dino Melaye. "You have a president that have come out on air to tell the whole world that all is fair in politics. Rigging is fair in politics. Violence is fair in politics. Ballot snatching is fair in politics. I am telling you that the results will tell in January. The president and his family members should begin to pack their luggage and things from the villa, including those in the boys' quarters of the villa, because there will be a change of government." Okay. All right, that is the ever audacious controversial Dino Melaye there, saying that the people are tired. But one question that I would like to ask Dino Melaye, let me bring out that quote he said. Right, he said that Nigerians are tired of lies. They are tired of borrowing. They are tired of 3 budgets in 3 successions not being implemented. All right. Weren't Nigerians tired when Muhammadu Buhari ruled this country for 8 years? There was insecurity during Buhari's regime. All right. There was hunger during Buhari's regime. Weren't Nigerians tired then? But it was still the APC that was voted in 2023. It was still the APC that was voted in 2023. Weren't hardship during Buhari's administration? Were there no insecurity? Were there not killings? Were there not alleged corruption during Buhari's administration? But the APC came back again in 2023. All right, in 2023, the APC came back. All right, so it is high time the electorates, Nigerians with their permanent voters card, it is high time you think twice before you vote for any political party. Because this time around, everybody, all the presidential candidates, all the governorship candidates, all the senatorial candidates, or what they are aiming on is to be elected. Now, genuineness, you won't hardly will you find somebody who is genuine to start campaigning, because everybody is running for what he or she will get at the end of the day. All right, so to Nigerians, shine your eyes, look at the presidential candidates, look at each and every one of them. You know them: Atiku Abubakar, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Peter Obi, and other presidential candidates. Look at them, look at their manifesto, look at their resume. All right, look at their resume. Are they ready? Are these people, will they take Nigeria to the promised land? Because that is what we've been hearing since. Look at the antecedents. Are they fit to turn this country around? And those people that have promised us that they will turn this country around, when will they do that? Those people that promised us renewed this, renewed that, from consumption to production. Those people that are saying that subsidy should be reversed. Have you, as a voter, have you gone to the internet to make research if subsidy is removed from a particular thing? What will be the disadvantage and the advantage? If government continues subsidy, what is the advantage and disadvantage? And people that are saying that they will remove subsidy, have you checked their ability? People that are saying that they will not, that they will reverse subsidy, have you checked what they can do? Because no longer should this country be a testing ground for people. Okay, let us try this, if it will work. If it will work, let us try it. Wasting people's life, wasting years in governance, test running a particular policy, if it will work or not. No, as a leader, you are not coming into office to test run, to do trial or error. If you want to remove subsidy and put other things in place that will cushion the effect of the people. That is what we are saying. Don't remove subsidy to test. If I remove the subsidy, will people suffer? You have to know. People will suffer. They will suffer if there are no alternatives you have provided for them. So Nigeria should not be a testing ground for one Tom, Dick, and Harry to say that, okay, if you elect me, I will reverse subsidy. And if you reverse that subsidy, you don't know that reversing subsidy, that there are some things you need to put in place before reversing subsidy. The role of a president, the role of a governor, the role of a senator is that when you come into power, you are not coming into power to test run things. You are not coming into power as a president to do trial and error. You are not coming into power as a governor to do a trial and error. This thing, will it work? If I do it, will it work? Will it work? If I don't do it, will it work? Will it work? That is not leadership. So, as a president, you must be definite. As a governor, coming into office, you must be definite. This is what I want to do. And this thing that I want to do, this is what I've put in place in case. This is what I've put in place because I know that when subsidy is removed, my people will suffer. So for them not to feel the removal of subsidy, this is what I've put in place. That is what a responsible leader, a leader that knows his onions, a leader that knows what he's doing, that is what that leader is supposed to do. You cannot, you cannot, for example, you're a father and you give your children pocket money every month, and you told them that within the next 3 months that you will not give them pocket money again. So if they go outside and their mates are spending, what do you want them to do? If you don't give your children pocket money, and when you send them to school, their mates are buying things. So will you allow your children to be watching other children buying things and they don't buy things for themselves? If you don't want to give your children pocket money again, provide the things that they will need when they get to school. You cannot be saying that they will not do. They will definitely still make them feel comfortable. If you don't want to give them pocket money again, provide the things for them, so that they will not go outside and be begging their friends. So that is what is it. If you are removing subsidy, the people that are spending to buy fuel, and now they will spend more, have you increased their salary? If not for the Nigerian Labour Congress that fought with the federal government will still have been paying 35,000 naira for workers. If not for the struggle the Nigerian Labour Congress had with the federal government. All right, let me take the last story, 848. All right, I'm saving this for the last. All right, so yesterday, on Sunday, I think it was Sunday, right? Yeah, on Sunday, a veteran actor in this country, Taiwo Hassan, lost his life due to cancer. Veteran Nollywood actor, filmmaker, and screenwriter Taiwo Hassan, popularly known as Ogugo, was on Monday buried in his hometown Ilaro, Yera South local government area of Ogun State, amid tears and tributes from colleagues, family members, and sympathizers. Here, I think during the last train table we did on Friday, was it last week Friday or last week Wednesday? Yeah, last week Wednesday we did talk about Buki and I during the train table did talk about Ogugo falling ill, stage 4 cancer. As at that time the family were not soliciting for money, but they wanted him to be taken to a place where he can receive treatment. Cancer is not something that you start and it disappears immediately. No, it's a gradual process. But unfortunately, luck ran out of this gentleman, Ogugo, who unfortunately gave up the ghost on Sunday. So may so rest in peace. He was 66 when he died on Sunday. So we pray here in the studio that God will give the family, those he left behind, the strength to carry on this trying period in their lives. Yes, there are so many actors. Yesterday at the burial, at the center where he was buried, veteran Nollywood actors and actresses in the Yoruba actors and actresses were there. The likes of Jide Kosoko, Madam Saje, Mr. Latin, and all the big wigs in Nollywood in the Yoruba movie were there. So here in the studio, we want to commiserate with the family of Taiwo Hassan, the daughters, the wife, and all the relatives that the gentleman left behind. That God will grant them the fortitude to bear the loss. Is not easy, not preparing. I mean, 66 is young, So he's also sounded a note of warning that you should take care of your health. While you are gaining the fame, while you are going about shooting movies, going from one location to other, health is wealth, they say. No matter how much you have, if you don't have a good health, you don't have anything. All right, so take care of your health. Go for a regular checkup every day. Do exercises. Watch what you eat. Watch what you eat. It is very, very important. Watch what you eat. It is very, very important. Watch what you eat. Don't just buy food anyhow without knowing the source of that food. Don't just, eat anyhow without, knowing what you are eating. All right. Cancer is majority of cancer ailment is the food we eat. The food we eat. Cancer is one of the food we eat is one of the things that causes cancer. There's nothing else that causes cancer. Food. What you eat is very, very important. All right, Lagos, that is how far I can go this morning. Once again, we commiserate with the families of Taiwo Hassan, the families of the daughters, the wife, the people who left behind, that God will grant them the fortitude to bear the loss. All right, Lagos, that is how far I can go on this Tuesday edition of Overt Radio Breakfast Show. Thank you for spending your hour with us here in the studio. 9 o'clock, it will be the political update, where I will be interviewing Honorable Oke Okafor Ihediche, the Nigeria Democratic Congress candidate for 2027 Federal House of Representatives for Olu East and also Federal Constituency in Imo State by 9 o'clock this morning. All right. Thank you for joining us. Stay tuned for more programming and for the interview. Don't go anywhere. I'm Ken.